Hello, supernatural enthusiasts. Welcome to Beyond the Hub podcast, the go-to destination for all things paranormal and unexplained. I'm Nick. Alongside me is my partner in paranormal exploration,
Brandon. That's right, folks. Today we're going to be discussing what are the most haunted forests in America. Firstly, I wanted to say that we were absolutely amazed by the fantastic stories that everyone shared during our last session. To those who responded to this week's posted in our group, your paranormal encounter could be featured later on in the show. So stay tuned until the end to find out if yours has been chosen. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Paranormal, Haunted, Creepy Places, and Ghost Stories. Welcome home. And share your story for next week's show. Make sure you don't miss out.
I want to say Spectral Paranormal says, hello, guys. How you doing, Spectral Paranormal? Of course, as always, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all our latest content. Be sure to share it with your friends and family, as sharing our content is the most effective way to expand our community. We truly value each and every one of you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, everybody. All right, so today we're delving into the supernatural lore surrounding three renowned haunted forests. Join us as we uncover the eerie tales of the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, the mysteries of Shawnee State Forest in Ohio, and the chilling encounters within the Freetown Fall River State Forest in Massachusetts. Freetown Fall River State Forest. That's
Thank you for the follow on Twitch.
Yeah, thanks for the follow on Twitch. Yeah, Freetown Fall River State Forest.
That's a mouthful.
That's a tongue twister. Freetown Fall River State Forest. Say that 6 times fast, 7 times fast, 5 times fast. I don't know what.
Yeah, 7 times fast. That's fine.
7 times fast.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna try. I already tried. I already twisted my tongue up. Okay, so the Pine Barrens, New Jersey. It has a long history filled with tales of the paranormal. We got a couple of stories based on personal accounts. Mr. Alamber?
Yeah, that's the one who just followed
Miss
us.
Eternal Ember. Miss Eternal Ember. Okay. It's Miss Eternal Ember.
There you go.
Love the stream. She says love the stream. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's the one who just followed us?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for the follow. All right. So we got first up here, Legends of the Jersey Devil. I used to live downstate. Downstate New York, where in the tri-states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So I have a good amount of friends in New Jersey. I've done my fair share of exploring New Jersey, same with Pennsylvania. But the Jersey Devil is something that I have heard a lot about. I've never seen myself. But lots of my friends from New Jersey have claimed to seen it or know somebody who has seen it.
Yeah.
This is a very common one. So the Legends of the Jersey Devil. So we got deep within the dense Pine Barrens of New Jersey lurks the infamous legend of the Jersey Devil, said to be the offspring of a cursed woman. This creature is described as a winged, hooved monstrosity with a blood-curdling scream. Countless witnesses have reported sightings of the Jersey Devil throughout the centuries, adding to its enduring legacy as one of America's most terrifying cryptids. I love me some cryptids. I have heard multiple descriptions of the Jersey Devil. I don't know about you, but some of my friends have told me about a humanoid, like a part human, part goat, part devil creature. Some of them have said it was just like a goat devil creature. All of them have said wings, that had wings, like bat wings or dragon wings. While we were looking up some pictures of the Jersey Devil, because we found this one guy who has some footage of a Jersey Devil that I just find comical. I laughed at it. I couldn't.
Who knows? It could be the real thing.
It could be the real thing, but it just we're gonna bring it up. But it looks so just fake. It looks like a puppet. It looks like it's weird. But we found a picture that we wanted to bring up. This is what I picture when my friends would tell me of the Jersey Devil. They describe this humanoid, bipedal, standing on two legs, but its hind legs are goat legs, with hooves, and it's got the wings, and it's got a goat head. It doesn't have a person head or a human head. That picture, I probably, it could be AI, it could just be an artist rendition. I don't know what it is, but whatever
That's a
it
real
is,
picture.
I'm not claiming it's a real picture.
No.
No, but it is
Artist
an
rendition.
artist rendition, right? It is what I picture and what my friends have described to me. I have also had friends describe to me the more just like half goat with wings, devil kind of thing, like a flying goat basically. And it would like walk on two legs, and it would have not front. Its front appendages
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be legs with hooves; it would be like arms with hands. But its body was basically a goat, and it had like the stereotypical devil tail. Caitlin Noel, I think Jersey Devil / Chupacabra are the same legend except in different cultures. Maybe I may be wrong. The Chupacabra is it's a Hispanic cryptid. It's heavily reported in like Puerto Rico, Mexico. It has been reported to be seen in America as well, but I don't think they're the same thing because the Chupacabra is it's more resembles a dog, but like an alien dog, and it's got like spines on its back, like spikes that stick up. And it has like this dullish gray flesh. It doesn't really have hair. It's kind of like a bald cat is what people describe seeing it as. And it's I don't think they're the same thing. I think you actually might be wrong on that one. The Jersey Devil and the legend behind the Chupacabra is like, it's called Chupacabra because that means goat sucker in Spanish. Because it would be reported that these farmers would find it's like cattle mutilations, with UFOs in America. They would find, this creature like leaning over a goat screaming. They'd hear their goat screaming, and they go out to check out what's going on with the goat, and they find this Chupacabra creature thing drinking its blood and then scurries off. That's the generic tale of the Chupacabra. But I have also heard other people in America said they've seen something that resembles the Chupacabra. But the Jersey Devil is specifically called the Jersey Devil because its region of activity is in New Jersey. It doesn't. I'm not aware. Have you been made aware of any Jersey Devil sightings outside of New Jersey?
Not that I'm aware of.
I haven't heard of anything. I haven't seen anything in my research. It's all in New Jersey, and it's specifically these Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
Is where it's frequently sighted. I mean, if you talk to a Jersey resident that lives around these woods, the Pine Barrens, and you mention something to them, the first thing that they say is, "Oh, is that the area the Jersey Devil's active in?" Because that's where he resides. I don't know really about the origin. I mean, I said it was rumored to be from a cursed woman. What did she birth it? I don't know. I think I have a theory. This is just a theory about the Jersey Devil that, as we spoke about last week with our Clinton Road satanic rituals.
Yeah.
I have a theory that the origin of this Jersey Devil could be related to, and I don't think they're the locations of Clinton Road and the castle where a lot of these rituals were held, and the woods over there and these Pine Barrens. I don't think they're near each other. I haven't looked on a map geographically to see how close they are to each other, but I think they're related, and maybe that if the Jersey Devil origin is because of this cursed woman, that it could be a woman who was partaking in some sort of satanic ritual to bring about this hybrid creature, because it is at the very least reported to be goat and devil-like.
Yeah.
At the very most reported to be man, devil, goat, dragon wing, bat wing. I mean, all reports of the Jersey Devil I've heard, that always has wings. They don't always see it flying. I have heard stories of, one of my friends was driving down the road and they see something swoop over them, and they think it was very low to their car, and it was coming towards their car, and it was high up in the sky, and they didn't notice it till it drops down and swoops over their car, like they almost hit it kind of thing, and it just like swoops over their car. And they just narrowly miss hitting it, and they say, "Oh my goodness, that was the Jersey Devil! I could swear it was. I saw its wings." I'm not gonna say that they're making it up, but every report I've heard, they speak about it flying. It's never been spotted just walking around like doo doo doo. I'm just minding my business, man. The Jersey Devil. You know, just don't mind me. I'm just gonna walk along here, even though I got perfectly functioning wings.
Sorry, I'm just trying to share this to some groups on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. So we got numerous eyewitnesses have reported chilling encounters with the legendary Jersey Devil within the depths of the Pine Barrens. These descriptions vary, but most accounts describe, as I was saying, a winged creature with hooves. Glowing red eyes is something I haven't brought up yet, but it's said to have glowing red eyes. Many claim to have heard its blood-curdling screams echoing throughout the forest, sending shivers down their spines. These sightings are absolutely a big contributing factor to the mystery and fear that surrounds the Pine Barrens. And we do have a news article / video here that I wanted to talk about with you guys. For those of you who are watching, if you're in the chat, when we do play this video, can you just confirm for us that you can hear the video? Because I believe last week we ran into some technical issues where you couldn't hear the video, but you could see the video. So we were commentating on videos, and we were like, "Oh, did you hear that?" And
no one said anything.
Nobody said anything because they couldn't hear anything.
That's all right. Let's.
I think we got it worked out, but it just if you can, if you're in the chat, just let us know that you can hear it.
And they got me on a Grey's Anatomy ad right now, so hold on a second.
That's your favorite show.
Yeah. All right, that's enough.
There we go. We're good.
Okay. All right, switch over. All right, here we go. Let me know if you can hear this.
As legendary as Loch Ness, as camera-shy as Sasquatch, this morning the mythical creature, the Jersey Devil, believed to be caught on camera.
It was like seeing a minion from another realm.
New Jersey resident Dave Black claiming he captured this picture.
What do you think about that?
Initially, just the still shot. I'm like, okay.
All right, thank you you can hear us.
Thank you for letting us know that you can hear us. Initially, I think that just the still shot, I'm like, okay. I can see why they think it's Jersey Devil. That's what I picture when I get the description of like the goat with wings and the tail, right? But when you see it move, I hope I'm not the only one who laughs at this.
But what else would it be?
A puppet. Somebody faking this.
Well, I know it's like if it wasn't a puppet or anything, like if the only other logical explanation would be the Jersey Devil.
Right.
If it wasn't a puppet.
So at the very least, I think this is the Jersey Devil, but is it a real Jersey Devil, the real Jersey Devil, or is it somebody just faking this? And I'm not always skeptical of everything, but this one just was like, when you see this thing move, it just looks comical. It looks like it's struggling to fly.
Showing the Garden State's fabled fiend after leaving work on Monday.
This thing sprouted wings, then it was gone.
The myth of the devil dating back to
All right, pause this real quick.
1735 in American folk.
This picture is what you will commonly find if you do your own searches of Jersey Devil. This drawing, and back from 1735, that is what this thing looks like that we're seeing in the video. That's the drawing of basically what we're seeing in the video. That just looks like some sort of hybrid beast, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like maybe a woman, a cursed woman made that. But, you know, we don't really know its origins. But that's from 1735. Okay. So let's keep going.
Folklore. The creature is said to be half human, half devil. Hundreds of believers claiming they've caught a glimpse of the dubious devil over the years.
Half human, half devil.
My
That's a goat.
grandfather, he saw it in
And that thing's teabagging him. Look at it.
no
Wait,
surprise to
go
me.
back.
I've been visiting
Go back. Go back. Look at it. Look at it.
He saw
He's sitting on his face.
Oh my God.
Jersey Devil's like, I'm gonna fart on
It's
you.
no surprise.
Okay,
to me
we're about
that
to
I
watch it
didn't
move.
visit it.
But Black isn't the only person who says he saw the creature on Monday. Another person posting this video allegedly
Look at that
showing
thing.
the
Yeah,
winged
this is
creature
a.
flapping.
This isn't the other one. He only got the picture of it. This is like
This is a different person.
This is a different person. So that's why this one
Okay.
is. That just looks a little.
That's
more
comical.
Video allegedly showing the winged
It's
creature
struggling.
flapping through the pine barrens less than 9 miles
Looks
away
like
from
it's-
where Black says he saw it.
9 miles away where he saw it.
There's some about it. It didn't quite look like exactly what I saw.
But Black is sure
They
his
look different,
devil
too.
is
Yeah.
the real deal.
I saw what I saw.
So that picture itself,
As a legend,
okay, just the picture, the original picture, not the video from the other person claiming. I actually wasn't aware it wasn't the same guy. I thought the guy was claiming that he also got the
No.
video. That video, it's just funny. It looks like somebody put some like fishing wire on it and is just tugging it along and like, okay, we're gonna make this animatronic puppet thing. We're gonna say it's the Jersey Devil. We're gonna get tons of hits. Trust me. And I'm
Trust.
like, that's just too funny. It just looks too funny. It looks like it's just learning to fly. And if this thing has been around since the 1700s, do you think it would just learn to fly now
Yeah.
in the most recent 15, 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's logical. That's plausible. I could see it. Yeah, so that about wraps up the Jersey Devil topic there. So what do we got here? We got mysterious lights and disembodied voices.
Mhm.
Did you have anything to add on the Jersey Devil before we move on?
No.
No? Anybody in the chat, if you have anything, any personal experiences, anything, we're interested in hearing them. Share them with everybody.
Share with the class.
So we got mysterious lights and disembodied voices. Explorers of the Pine Barrens have often encountered unexplained phenomena, including mysterious lights that flicker amidst the trees and disembodied voices that echo through the dense foliage. Some believe these occurrences to be the restless spirits of those lost in the vast wilderness, while others attribute them to supernatural energies that permeate the forest.
I feel like in all cases of, like, let's say you're out in the woods, if you're specifically looking for something, it could be ghosts, it could be anything. I usually always come across a story of someone saying they witness strange lights in the forest.
Right.
Is it like little orbs or something that are just in the tree line and they're just out of sight, but they can see that there is, a light emitting from them.
Right. Now, what instantly comes to my mind? Fact Finder, you guys have really nice masculine beards. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
Do you?
Yeah. I'll tell you after the show.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for the compliment, Fact Finder.
Thank you. That is a fact.
I think these mysterious lights, the first thing that comes to mind is, what makes them mysterious? Like, in a skeptic mind, in a debunking type mind, what could it be that isn't anything of the supernatural or paranormal? Fireflies, right? That's the first thing that I would think of, a firefly. But I'm fairly familiar with fireflies. I used to chase them down as a kid. I'm sure most of us have. Just catch them in cups and be like, look, I got a little bug and it's glowing. And try to figure out why it makes this little glowy light. But
Is it
what kind of lights are these? Are these like the orbs that are reported in like the like the more ghost type paranormal encounters? Or are these are they like blinding lights, like with UFO sightings, where they're like super bright, dense, sharp lights? And like we were talking about last week when we had the three lights in a triangle zipping around together. Are they lights like that, but they're in the forest?
I think some of these they're creating their own source of light. They're not emitting from somewhere else.
Like if I was standing in the woods and I glowed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's very. So like what I'm worried about is it something like, is there like a light off in the distance? Is it like a shed or something? Is that the light? Is it emitting? Like, got to see where the source is coming from.
Right.
And if you go to that source and then there's nothing there, like usually when you chase these lights, you go to that spot, there's nothing there in the distance or in general.
Right. Have you personally, when you've gone on your investigations, have you seen a light and gone to what you believe is the source, and as you're moving towards the source, it keeps moving away from you, so it remains equidistant from you at all times?
I have not personally. The only light source I saw was at that cemetery, and it was that orange glow, and it just literally vanished. But where it was located, there was a hill there, so it wouldn't have been anything directly behind it. It would have been something, maybe a reflection behind me, which there wasn't any.
Okay, so that's your only way to try to explain it rationally without bringing in the supernatural paranormal is a reflection, but it's reflecting
There wasn't anything.
off of dirt.
Yeah.
Like that's not a reflective surface. I don't know. We hear these mysterious lights in a lot of things, and mysterious lights is so vague. That's what makes me question this. Like, get a little bit more descriptive, please. And we couldn't really find anything much more descriptive other than, these mysterious lights that flicker and then disappear.
Fact Finder said methane gas can burn and give off radiant light. That is interesting too. So if we are in an area where there is a natural source of that, I know there's this place in Buffalo called the Eternal Flame.
Oh, that's in like a waterfall cave kind of thing,
right?
Right?
In a waterfall, and it produces its own.
It's a natural methane exhaust, right?
Yes.
Like a geyser of methane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't burn out.
No.
That's cool.
Oh, well, if it does, you could just go and relight it. But that is an interesting case too. But if it's just, I mean, can it burn like that without setting itself on fire?
That's what we get to. Like, what kind of lights are these? Yeah. Like, I'm not going to deny that methane gas gives off radiant light. Like, it does. But what lights are these people seeing? I personally don't think that. I don't think it's just like we were just talking about the Jersey Devil. Like, does the Jersey Devil before, okay, wait, let me take another step back. I have this theory because like a lot of these cryptids, I believe they exist, but I believe they have abilities that go along with their that are different. Like, it's not just okay, let me see. I'm trying to say these cryptids, a lot of cryptids are like hybrid creatures, right? Yeah. A lot of them. Like, you got werewolf, half dog, half man. You got this Jersey Devil. It's like a chimera of some sort. You got the chupacabra, which is like dog, alien, weird looking thing. Like, these are hybrid things. I think they have abilities. Like Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. There's, like we were talking about before, Bigfoot is, some people in the Bigfoot community say that Bigfoot is telepathic and can travel through dimensions, travels through planes.
And that show Finding
What
Bigfoot.
if that light that they're seeing is the cryptid or whatever being, otherworldly being they're coming into contact with, coming through a portal or something of that sort, like going through the dimension, phasing through the dimension? Because I think there's more to physics than we understand as humanity right now that these things have access to. This knowledge, it's like a hidden knowledge. It's the occult. It's referred to in Christianity and the Bible as the occult. It's hidden knowledge, and I think that could be why people are seeing these lights. Maybe they're portals. I mean, maybe it's a portal that's a mile down the road and it's just straight woods, and you're just seeing this. It's the portal. If you're right in front of it, is the size that's like 4 feet big or something, and it maybe just opens up as they step through it. I don't know. Or maybe you can't see the portal, and it's just them going through the portal itself makes that light. I don't know. That's just a theory I have, because I think that these cryptids have abilities that go along with the nature of them being like hybrid creatures. Like, it's just strange occurrences. Never thought of it that way. That's super cool, says Miss Eternal Ember.
There are shows, Finding Bigfoot doesn't really get that detailed into it, but there's this other show, Expedition Bigfoot, and that's on Discovery Plus, I believe, and they dive deep into that,
into the portal,
into the portal, into how they can, like we were saying, like read your mind,
and talk to you telepathically,
right. All that stuff.
I think, and there's also a documentary, Expedition Dogman, that Tony Merkel does. He hosts the confessionals. He put together this, I think he went on this investigation, this hunt to find Dogman, werewolves. There's lots of stories of this Dogman. The people refer to it as Dogman, Wolfman, werewolves.
Werewolf.
These are also claimed to have these interdimensional powers. And the more I look into cryptids, the more I see this kind of linking together to some sort of portal interdimensional travel thing. Even aliens. Like, I personally don't believe aliens are from another planet. I believe they're here with us on another plane of existence. And if they are what you typically would think of as an alien, picture like a gray, the typical gray. I think they're in the sea. Like, we know more about space than we know about sea as humanity, and the sea is on our planet. Like, and I've heard and seen video also. Like, I've seen video of a alien craft lifting out of, like, raising out of the water silently, while I think it was the Navy. The Navy took the video. Like, a Navy guy took the video. He was on this military vessel, and he sees this craft lift out of the water, and then it just zips off silently. Just shoots. It's gone. Blink of an eye, gone. And there's another one of it going into the water silently, breaking the water, not making noise. So if these UFOs, I don't think these are considered UAPs personally. I think I would consider these UFOs are going into the water and disappearing. Are they interdimensionally traveling once they're in the water? Are they coming out of the water and interdimensionally traveling? I don't think they're zipping off to another planet. I think they're here with us, in another plane of existence. Excuse me.
You're good. We do have a story about someone seeing some strange lights. Let me switch this over. Does it look better on here? Okay. Strange lights in the trees at Brendan T. Byrne State Forest Pines, Barrens, New Jersey. Okay. I'm from South Jersey, and I spent a lot of time in Pine Barrens camping, hiking, off-roading in my Jeep. I started spending more time at Brendan T. Byrne State Forest over the last few years because of the off-road trails. There's a lake called Peckham?
Peckham or Peckham?
Peckham Pond.
I'm going to say Peckham.
That wouldn't be a lake, then that'd be a pond. Anyway, along one of the main roads in the park, and it's a great place to go and park to look up at the stars. That's cool. Something of a note is that this state forest is very close, approximately 15 miles from the Joint Base McGuire / Fort Dix. Okay.
That's interesting. Real quick, the closeness to a lot of these paranormal cryptid activities, supernatural activities, to military bases is also very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. A lot of UFO sightings, more activity of UAPs and UFOs in the sky, more activity of strange things, people seeing strange creatures and them just vanishing before their eyes, where they don't take their sights off of them and they just walk into a portal, like I was saying. I think that the relation to them being located close to these bases is very interesting. Very interesting. And I think we could dive deep into that in a future episode.
Yeah. To get right into it, I've seen strange, unexplainable lights in the trees in different areas of the forest. The first few times we were while parked at Peckham Pond and stargazing, I noticed small lights that would sometimes flicker or stay stationary just below the tree line, easily mistakable for stars. I didn't think much of it until I realized that during the daytime, the tree line was high enough that there was no way I could have been seeing stars through the thick foliage tree line.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is a guy. The author of this post determined, he used his, deductive reasoning and trying to debunk things, that it's not the stars. No way he could see that through the tree line, the dense tree line. Okay, so he's definitely seeing some lights.
I brought my wife with me the next time specifically to try to show her these strange lights, and sure enough, there they were. Not in the same spots that they seemingly move. 2 years later, I just went camping on Thanksgiving Eve with my old friend, and the park was pretty much empty because it was 30 degrees. All night long, I could see the lights in the trees below the tree line. They perplex me. I have no clue what they are. I can't find anything online about this, so I think I need to do my own investigation. I don't know what to think of them except possibly some sort of light being or fairies. That sounds ridiculous to say, but they seem paranormal in nature.
I don't think that sounds ridiculous.
Anyone have any ideas what these are? Has anyone seen any similar experience in the Pine Barrens or anywhere else? Anyone else in the chat ever seen anything? Or has anyone from New Jersey or ever heard of anything like that?
I haven't seen. I mean, I went over all of my paranormal experiences in New Jersey.
That is terrifying.
Last week. Yeah. With Clinton Road, the 2 times I went there. I will say, New Jersey has a weird vibe about it. I don't know how to describe it other than it's just got a weird vibe. Like, remember how I told you when I went driving down Clinton Road, I felt this evil? Best way to describe it is you get that gut feeling, right? It just felt evil.
It felt like a Snooki was watching you.
Yeah, there's Snooki in the trees. There's that feeling that varies in intensity everywhere in New Jersey that I've been. The only place I went to High Point State Monument, it didn't really feel bad there. I didn't feel any negative energy or negative vibes. But the deeper I went into New Jersey, the more it felt like I don't like this state. I just don't like it. I don't like New Jersey. I don't want to go there. I'm not going back.
I was never a big fan of New Jersey.
CM Took says, I haven't, but I wasn't interested when I was stationed there.
He wasn't interested then when he was...
oh, gotcha.
I wonder, did anything strange happen on the base while you were there?
That's cool. I think we should do a show about that. But I don't know if it can get anybody in trouble or a breach of confidentiality or anything about talking about happenings on bases.
I think a lot of paranormal stuff happens in or around bases because
Yes.
I believe they're interested in what we're doing there. Because there's all the weapons and some of the bases that have nuclear weapons tie into a lot of UFO or weird activity because I think they're so interested on why are we,
I see that. I think that there's a little bit more. I see the chat. I'll get it in a second. I think there's a little bit more that goes into it than just them being interested in what we're doing there. I think that, I don't know if you or anybody in our audience has heard of the DUMBs, deep underground military bases.
That's a good topic we got.
That is a topic we're going to dive into in a future week. There's a lot of occult, paranormal type weird things that happen in these deep underground military bases, reportedly. I've just brief talking about something real brief. I've heard a story of a guy. He was supposed to deliver something to this military base. He was given specific instructions of where to drive, and when he hits this part, he realizes it's a rock wall, and he's like, how am I supposed to go anywhere? All of a sudden, he sees a truck drive through the rock wall, like it's phasing through the rock wall, like it's some sort of holographic projection. He gets up to the wall, knocks on it, and it's solid. But then he ends up driving through the wall. Like, driving down this whole long tunnel into the mountain, super deep into the mountain, gets into the loading bay, and then he gets escorted by this super secretive military detail to an elevator that he was on for 15 minutes. I don't know what elevator goes down, 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 actively feeling it moving.
Airport.
I've heard of that. But for 15 minutes, like, I've been on a 20-floor elevator, and that's at longest it could be a minute, not making any stops. 15 minutes? Dude, how deep are you going? I've heard stories about this, and I'm very interested to talk about that. And I think that we are working with these entities, not just they're interested in what we're doing. I think some technology that we have has been learned from these entities.
Oh, it has to.
And maybe in these deep underground military bases. All right, we got Marbles 44. I've heard of a lot of activity by Fort Dix. However, never experienced anything myself. Super strange. Oh, well, share some of that Fort Dix activity with us, please. I would love to hear it. We were just reading that Reddit comment and said they were located by Fort Dix. So, yeah, if just one story, if you're okay with it. We're just trying to, connect all the dots here.
We got next, Encounters with the Ghosts of the Past. So the Pine Barrens holds a rich history fraught with tales of tragedy and despair. Visitors have reported eerie encounters with the ghosts of long-departed settlers and lost souls who wander the forest seeking redemption or possibly revenge. Their spectral apparitions serve as a haunting reminder of the untold stories hidden within the depths of the wilderness.
Fact Finder says, read the book Beyond the Pale Horse. That's on my reading list, by Bill Cooper. He's an ex-Army intelligence officer and talks about the underground bunkers. Yep. I'm going to be reading that book for some research for the episode we're going to be doing for the Dumbs. I want to bring up a lot of that stuff.
I knew I should have done that.
Read that book?
No, join intelligence, because that's the first position they offered me, but...
Oh, when you went to the Army?
When I went in the Army, but I chose another stupid position, but... I should have done that.
Intelligence is where all the juicy stuff is. But you're not guaranteed to know the juicy stuff. You have to get that clearance.
Oh, would I had the clearance?
You got to go deep. I don't think just entering intelligence, you're like, okay, now I have clearance.
All right, send me there. Send me.
But some of these stories that I come across of people talking about working with these agencies in the military installations in these deep underground military bases, they're not part of the military. They're contracted secretly contracted by the military to deliver stuff for them.
Yeah.
Isn't Bob Lazar, wasn't he sort of like Area 51 contracted?
Area 51.
Deep underground. They're working on some ships and stuff like that and alien technology, right? So I'm just saying, what bothers me the most is when people have access to this information and they hear somebody like myself and maybe you talking about it, and they're just instantly so dismissive. No, there's no way. Nope, that's not real. That's the stuff of the movies. Don't you think they put it in the movies to make you think that it's only in the movies?
Yeah.
Predictive programming, personally, that's what I believe. And I'm such a curious mind that I hear something or read something and it brings me to want to know more about it or learn more about it or understand the truth about it, because in all of this I'm just seeking the truth. And when I find a breadcrumb trail of, we have this free energy reactor that we were just harvesting energy out of the ether in the air from around us, and it was technology given to us and from these entities from beyond the veil, and we talked with them using these astral travel methods and smoking DMT and these... I'm going a little crazy here, but I'm talking about some real stuff I've come across, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I wonder if that's true. And I look into it, and the more I find, I'm like, wow, that's kind of confirming it. That's kind of confirming it. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. And then it just paints this bigger picture, and you pull on one thread, and it goes, you keep pulling on it, and that thread is connected to 6 other threads, and it's crazy. It's freaking crazy. To be completely skeptical and say this stuff doesn't happen at all and it's not true, you must live a sad life.
Yeah.
This is all so fascinating and interesting. Fact Finder says, the more you know, the less you remain who you are. I believe that's in reference to the intelligence. I think you have to sort of make some Faustian bargain, sell your soul to the devil type, even if it's being used in a metaphorical sense here.
Yeah.
They have to have some dirt on you. Or some way to you can compromise there by knowing the information. You can compromise them, so they need to be able to have
bargaining chip.
Bargaining, over you. Something like you say something, your family's dead, type of stuff. The less you remain who you are. This, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried to start this podcast because we're talking about the wide, broad overall everything: ghosts, paranormal, supernatural, interdimensional, spiritual. I myself am a Christian, read the Bible every day, and I relate all of this to that. I find my ways of trying to explain all of this and match it with what the Lord tells me in the Word, and all of this that I'm learning goes to some dark areas, and if I keep following these threads, and there's certain entities and agencies out there who don't want this information out there, that if you're hitting the nail too close on the head, can be silenced. And there was a part of me that was a little bit worried about starting this podcast and talking with you about this stuff. But I think that it's more important, and the Lord told me to do this. So, and I also think it's more important to expose these things. Marbles 44 says mostly just people seeing lights. Okay, apparitions, things like that. Now, this is all in reference to the activity by Vortex, by the way, for everybody who's watching. Walson Hospital is said to be haunted on base, but I do not believe it is active anymore. I want to say it was demolished. Have you heard of anything, Walson Hospital? You're about to look it up? Walson Army Hospital.
You can keep talking. April 30th, 2001, it closed its doors for the last time as the Air Force vacated the building. Everyone was transferred to the new clinic, McGuire Air Force Base.
Interesting. People seeing lights and apparitions. I guess that's the most common thing over there is the lights. People seeing the lights.
And it looks like it was demolished in 2016.
So closed in 2000 what? 1?
Yeah.
Demolished 2016, 15 years to demolish it. Oh wow. Yeah, it's not even standing anymore. Completely demolished. All right. Lights and apparitions. Oh man. I don't know. I just wish there's more. And I'm not trying to discount or make anybody's experience where they see a light or something like that. Because, I've had experiences where I've seen things that, to me, are just mind-blowing. And I'm not trying to make anybody who's seen some lights be oh, no, it's just some lights, dude. No, there could be some significance to it. But I'm just so thirsty to know more that I want more detail. That's all. My personal experiences I can describe in very vivid detail. And I'm not saying that these people can't, but it's just maybe some of these lights can't be described other than anything else than a light. It's just a light. It's just a glowy light. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic here. We got Shawnee State Forest located in Ohio's Appalachian region. It has a deep history full of mystery and folklore. It was first home to Native American tribes, including the Shawnee, and has always been seen as a spiritually important place. Here are a couple of stories based on some personal accounts, including the shadow of the Shawnee curse. So, shrouded in mystery and myth, Shawnee State Forest in Ohio is rumored to be haunted by the shadow of an ancient curse. According to local legends, the forest is home to vengeful spirits and malevolent entities that exact retribution on those who dare to trespass upon their sacred grounds. Tales of unexplained phenomena, including ghostly apparitions and inexplicable sounds, abound among those who venture into the depths of the Shawnee. We found an article that details what this curse is. It's from anomalian.com, anonymous alien. It looks like a alien, or maybe an alien that goes nom 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 and he's eating stuff. Maybe he's eating corn from the Native American tribes. He's nomming on the corn. I don't know.
Yes.
So let's see. What do we got here? There was a tribe of the Shawnees. The most powerful was Chief. I'm going to butcher this. Chief Kitugwa, which is cornstalk in English. So I'm just going to refer to him as Chief Cornstalk. Not trying to be derogatory. It's just a lot easier to say than the other thing. The Shawnees, according to Captain John Stewart, the Shawnees were the most savage. They were warriors who looked upon other fighters with contempt. They were the best warriors. 1774, the Longboat people, white settlers, were moving towards the Kanawha and Ohio River valleys. The Confederacy made preparations to protect their land. They formed a line from the Ohio and Kanawha rivers. Battle of Point Pleasant resulted in the deaths of 140 whites and twice as many Native Americans. Those are not that large numbers compared to other wars. I mean, there's still one too many in my opinion, but still, that's not that large. I mean, more people died at the what was it, the Alamo,
Yeah.
right? Native Americans went into Ohio. A fort was erected at the junction of the rivers to prevent the Native Americans from returning to Virginia. Cornstalk name terrified the whites. In 1777, he made peace with the whites. That November, the Native Americans were getting ready for a new attack on the whites. Cornstalk and fellow tribesmen didn't want to be in a war they knew they would lose. On November 7th, Cornstalk and a Delaware chief, Red Hawk, went to the fort to try to make peace. They spoke with Captain Arbuckle. That's a funny name. The Shawnee chief told the captain that he was opposed to joining the war on the side of the Redcoats, but the entire Confederacy except himself wanted to do so. For his efforts to try to make peace, the reward was that he, Red Hawk, and another Native American were held hostage at the fort as an attempt to prevent Native Americans from joining the British forces. Now that's kind of mean.
Yeah.
Like, they're coming to try to make peace and work with you, and then you're like, no, you can't leave now. They were treated well and given comfortable quarters to stay in. I don't care. It's holding somebody against their will is still messed up. Cornstalk helped the soldiers in making maps of the Ohio River Valley. Wow, he still helped them. On November 9th, Elenipsico, Cornstalk's son, visited him at the fort. He too was held hostage. What the heck? Oh, no wonder there's a curse over there. November 10th, the gunfire was heard from the direction of the Kanawha River. Two of the soldiers, Gilmore and Hamilton, had been hunting deer and were attacked by members of a tribe that was not Shawnee. Hamilton escaped. Gilmore was killed and scalped. And he was scalped and scalped and scalped and scalped. Again, scalped. Because they're holding people hostage. That's mean. I can't take myself seriously sometimes. When Gilmore's body was returned to the fort, the soldiers became frenzied. Although the attacking Native Americans were not Shawnee, they wanted the four hostages killed. Whoa, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, although the attacking Native Americans were not Shawnee, the people holding the Native Americans hostage wanted to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up. As the men strode into the room, Cornstalk stood. He was 6 feet tall, and the men momentarily stopped. Then they shot at the hostages. Wow. Red Hawk tried to escape by climbing up a chimney. He was killed. Elenipsico was...
His son.
Yes, his son was killed as he sat on a stool. The other Native American was strangled to death. Cornstalk was shot 8 times. Thanks for helping us with the map, buddy. Bang, bang, bang. Before he died, he said that he had tried to make peace and help the white man. He had refused to join the British in the war. He had saved the white man from harm. His son was murdered. Then he spoke with vengeance. He said the curse of the Great Spirit would fall upon the land. It would be blighted in its hopes. The 3 bodies were dumped into the Kanawha River. Cornstalk was buried in a grave near the fort on Point Pleasant. The town of Point Pleasant was founded in 1794. In 1840, Cornstalk's body was moved to the Mason County outhouse grounds. In 1899, a momentum for him was built. In the 1950s, a new courthouse was erected. The chief's remains were re-entered into the... I'm going to try 2 Wendy Way Park.
Yeah, keep going, because it gets interesting, too.
The Dar built a 12-foot monument to the Cornstalk. In 1880, an entire city block of Point Pleasant was destroyed by fire. Spontaneously. That's interesting. In 1908, an 86-foot-tall monument was built in memory of the men who died in the Battle of Point Pleasant, where the Confederacy was defeated. It was supposed to be dedicated on July 22nd, but lightning came out of a clear sky and badly damaged a derrick that was supposed to put the monument in place. The monument was dedicated on August 22nd. Hey, that's kind of like how that George Floyd mural was like, or it was like a BLM mural. I don't know. Something was like struck by lightning.
I heard about that.
Yeah, like a couple of years ago. People are saying it was smited by God. I thought that was kind of funny. On July 4th, well, in this case, people are saying this is part of the curse. On July 4th, 1941, another bolt of lightning hit the monument. Okay, that's twice. Lightning strike. Never strikes the same place twice, right? It was repaired. People were wondering if this was because of Cornstalk's curse. I'm starting to think so. There have been other disasters on the land that the chief cursed. December 6th, 1907, 361 coal miners were killed in a mining disaster. Wow, that's a lot for a mining disaster.
Yeah.
At Monongahela, West Virginia, 10 miles from Point Pleasant. 1913, floods destroyed Point Pleasant. April 21st, 1930.
You can keep going. I think it's just...
320 people died in a prison fire at the Columbus, Ohio State Penitentiary, which is 80 miles from Point Pleasant. Floods destroyed Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant is just cursed.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yep. I think this is all but confirmed. I mean, it's so the curse is, the origin is Chief Cornstalk.
Mm-hmm.
He helped the white men. And was held hostage. And still held no, he harbored no ill intentions towards the men. And they just massacred him and his son and another chief.
I put a curse on you too.
That's really messed up. And then I don't think it's a coincidence between him saying that a curse will befall this land, and then for the next, ever since then, disasters have been happening in that place way too frequently. Like it's not just normal disasters, like lightning striking this monument multiple times.
I think a lot of Native American curses also have to do with the legend of the Skinwalker too. On all those places where there was like sightings of a Skinwalker, it's always on Native American, what once was Native American land.
Like the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, that's a show, but
there's actually a place.
Yeah,
that they call the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, that's actually a really good show too. They go way in depth about everything, like between portals, radio waves, having to do.
I'm telling
with
you,
stuff.
man, portals are something. There's something to portals. There's something to portals. Everybody, listen. There is something to portals. Not like Rick and Morty, like walk through the portal. Not like that, but like there's something to it. Portal is just a gateway. I mean, like, I'm not gonna get into it. We're gonna go deep on another episode.
Yep. Miss Eternal Ember says 100% agree. Marbles 44. Skinwalkers terrify me. Yes.
I think they terrify anybody who takes them seriously. Funny about Skinwalker. This is just a little bit related because being terrified by Skinwalkers. I have a friend that I was talking to about this werewolf encounter that I was just, at the time, I was fresh off of reading about it, listening to it. And I was talking to him about it, and he listened to me, and he was like, wow, whoa, man, like, he was shocked the whole time through. And all the way at the end, he's like, I'll tell you what, man, if werewolves are real, I'm like, wait. You're not going to try to, like, harm the werewolf. He's like, no, man, if they're real, like, and I'm staring it in the face. He's like, I don't want to be on this planet anymore. I'm like, you're going to just end it all because you saw a werewolf? Absolutely. Like, you're that scared? Absolutely. Like, I don't even get to. Yep, it's pulled, man. Trigger's pulled. I'm like, what? Jeez. You're not even gonna try to get. No, I'm gone. I ain't gonna be here to see that. Okay, I just thought it's pretty funny. I don't know how serious he is. I hope he's not really, like,
no,
because werewolves are real.
They are?
Absolutely. They're interdimensional.
I've seen Supernatural. They're real.
They go through portals. Vampires. Oh man, I got this other oh man, I always want to go off on crazy tangents. Did you listen to that Anton LaVey story?
For the most part, yeah.
Did you?
I didn't finish all the way.
Like the Next Generation, not I think halfway through the story is where I'm about to reference. Not his daughter, but his daughter's daughter said she's a vampire.
I get that
Didn't
part.
hear that part, dude. I'm not saying like vampire like live forever, but this chick, she was like 14 or 16 years old or something, and she's claiming she's a vampire and she needs blood. She's drinking people's blood, and she's kept in a separate section. We'll get into details another time. But
and then that person friend requests me the next day.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you sent me this video of the Anton LaVey.
Yeah, because we talked about the what is it? The Lexus Satanicus or whatever. From the Clinton Road last week, we were talking about the satanic rituals that were done in the woods over there, and writings from Anton LaVey, which is the leader of Satanism. He was the leader of Satanism there. Were mentioned there, and then that night when I'm going home, I find this video, like it was recommended to me about Anton LaVey, a story involving Anton LaVey. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I was just talking about him. Let me see what's more about him. And then I got this crazy story involving his daughter, some sacrifice stuff, his daughter's daughter being a vampire, some crazy satanic shit. And then I sent it to you because I'm like, dude, this is blowing my mind. You need to check this out. And then you start watching it, and you get a friend request from someone with the last name LaVey.
With no mutual friends,
no mutual friends, just comes out of nowhere. Now, I will say, benefit of the doubt, we are running this. You run the paranormal group on Facebook. We could have found you through there. We do got this podcast. He could have found us through there. Or maybe if he's related to Anton LaVey, he's some sort of astral traveled to finding out what we're doing and is like, I'm going to stop these guys before they expose. I don't know.
It was definitely weird.
It was weird. Definitely weird.
Let's get back on here.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Talk about the corn stalks.
Yeah, Chief Cornstalk.
Chief
the
Cornstalk.
curse.
The curse of Chief Cornstalk.
So wait, can you what's the shadow curse?
Yeah.
The shadow of the curse. Like, it's not like anybody's seeing a shadow. Are they? Oh nope,
Yeah,
we're
they
getting
are.
there. We're getting there.
The hikers and campers have reported eerie encounters with a shadowy figure lurking among the trees, described as a tall, dark silhouette that moves silently throughout the forest. This entity instills a sense of dread in those who catch glimpses of it. Some witnesses claim to have felt an intense coldness in its presence, while others report hearing strange whispers echoing through the forests.
Intense coldness again.
Always with the cold.
I don't really hear of the sudden coldness or sudden change in temperature with shadow figures. I don't ever really hear that. Shadow figures, I hear a lot of disappears as I realize what I'm looking at and try to focus in on it. I hear saw in a corner of my eye and it disappears. I hear I'm paralyzed and I can't move and I see it and it's trying to touch me. I've heard that. But no cold shivers. No instant, oh man, I got this cold breeze coming. So I just thought that was an interesting
Maybe if they go to
observation.
the area that it was
Maybe.
supposedly at, and that's when they're feeling that cold.
So you think these entities themselves are what what's making the environment in our plane of existence actually react to them with the cold temperature change?
I think so. I think they're taking something out of the atmosphere because they're essentially when something shows itself, it's creating its own little portal, I think, and it's just drawing energy from everywhere.
I like that you said portals.
Hold on. So we got a few comments here. Indigo Moon Paranormal. Hey there, first time listener. Welcome, Indigo Moon Paranormal. Glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
Tanya
Hope you're
Marie
enjoying
says-
the show.
Yeah, of course. Tanya Marie says, good evening, guys. Good evening, Tanya Marie.
Good evening, Tanya.
But yeah.
Yeah, portal. Portals. But they claim to have felt the intense coldness in the presence of the shadow figure. This is the first time I'm hearing that. That's the distinction I'm trying to make here, because in my other in my personal experience of seeing any shadowy things, and in other people's anecdotes of shadowy things, I do not ever hear of anything with the cold. So this is the first time.
Maybe it's a different kind of shadow figure.
Maybe it is.
And if you watch like in that Expedition Bigfoot thing, when they're walking through this creek bed, they had the infrared projected on the. No, it was the infrared. It was either the light was projected on the wall of this, not cave, but like just this big rock formation.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd walk past. You can see their shadow walk past it, and then you see something else shadow walk past it.
And they're like, "What is that?"
But you can see like where they're standing and their shadows, and then you see just a shadow walking past. Indigo Moon Paranormal, thank you for the follow.
Hey, yay, we're growing. Awesome. Thank you, Indigo Moon Paranormal.
But that's something where I can think like maybe that is the shadow, it's its own entity. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just spitballing.
Are you trying to say that it's a physical,
a physical,
tangible
yeah.
entity, not like an ethereal just a shadow. Like
Yeah.
it's got like you could poke it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And maybe it is. I don't know.
And they couldn't figure out what it was.
How did so they saw it in person?
In person, yeah, because when they went back on the camera, they're like, wait a minute, what was that? It was like, you could see them walking, then you see something walking behind them,
Right.
casting its own shadow. It wasn't anyone else.
In the present moment when you see their shadows walking, and do they see something walking behind them then? And so they're reacting like, what was that?
It was the cameraman that pointed it out, I believe.
Okay. The cameramans are pretty observant because they're paying attention to what they're recording.
Mid-South Paranormal Project. First time my team is watching the stream. Love the topic of discussion. Thank you so much for joining us and your team.
We are glad that you're enjoying the topic of discussion. We are excited for this week.
What you go on here with this next one?
All right, so we got encounters with otherworldly entities. Explorers of Shawnee State Forest have reported chilling encounters with otherworldly entities that lurk within its dense woods. Some describe encountering strange creatures that defy explanation, while others speak of the eerie apparitions that vanish without a trace. Now, the majority of these encounters within the Shawnee State Forest are supposedly they're Bigfoot encounters or Sasquatch. They're the Bigfoot or Sasquatch variety. Those are the otherworldly entities or the creatures that defy explanation are mostly these. Not including the apparitions. The eerie apparitions, that could be the shadow, but also just a ghost. Eerie apparition. You see something like, whoa, what is that? These encounters serve as a stark reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden within the heart of Shawnee, which Chief Cornstalk is responsible for. I'm making that declaration right now. Chief Cornstalk did curse it. Witnesses in Shawnee State Forest have also reported sightings of mysterious lights illuminating the night sky. Now, these are different than the lights from the previous topic because those were in the woods. These are in the sky. So I think that these are more likely to be UFOs.
Yeah.
Or UAPs. I will say they could be UAPs too because maybe there's some sort of entity that it's a creature and it's flying in the sky and it has a very bright light that you can't tell the shape of it. You just see a light. I don't know. UAP, UFOs. I just think that's what these are. Because these lights, they appear and disappear without explanation. Or there's really no way to explain how they come in and go out. They move in erratic patterns or they kind of just float stationary. They hover motionless above the treetops, like low, right above the treetops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's a star that you're like, whoa, wait, is that a star? Is that a light? Is that a... No, their light's hovering pretty low. In relation to other things that are in the sky, like stars and whatnot, or an airplane or whatever. So yeah, I think that these are pretty interesting. The lights and the again, like we went off on a tangent about that earlier in this episode. Like the lights, we really don't know. And it's hard to capture them. It's hard to because you have tons of experience of this. Like that one video you showed of you actually were lucky enough to capture an orb and you followed it with the camera and it went into a mirror as if the mirror was a portal, and in the mirror it went down and disappeared.
Inside of the mirror.
Like that was mind-blowing. But it's really hard to capture these things. Like that was such a rare capture for you to have there.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of some guy seeing something in a mirror and he looks in real life and that thing's not there in real life, but in the mirror it's there. And that's a real encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard of that. But these lights, man, it's hard to explain them because you can't really get much more descriptive than it's a light.
It's a light and it's moving on its
own.
It's not stationary.
So, yeah. So our last bit here for the Shawnee State Forest is the ghostly encounters at Moonville Tunnel. I think this is possibly related to the coal miners.
Yeah.
One of the most famous haunted locations in Shawnee State Forest is the Moonville Tunnel, built in the late 1800s to transport coal. This abandoned railroad tunnel is said to be haunted by the spirits of former railway workers. Visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices, seeing shadowy figures, and feeling sudden drops in temperature while exploring the tunnel and surrounding area. I definitely think that this is related. I mean, I didn't confirm that, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think this is related to the Chief Cornstalk curse
Mm-hmm.
because of those miners that died. I mean, transport coal, abandoned railroad tunnel leads to a mine, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, we couldn't find any like really detailed encounters. But what we have for you next is some stuff that I think is pretty awesome. So the Freetown Fall River State Forest. Haha, I did it. Freetown Fall River State Forest in Massachusetts has a rich history filled with stories of the supernatural. We got a couple of stories here based on personal accounts, some anecdotes here. The Bridgewater Triangle.
Yes.
I've heard lots of things, lots of stories, lots of tales of the Bridgewater Triangle. It's an area in southeastern Massachusetts known for its numerous reports of paranormal phenomena. The triangle's boundaries roughly form a triangle shape. It's a isosceles, I think. It's narrow and then comes to like a pizza slice. Maybe a little bit pointier.
Now I'm hungry.
Come on, man. Now I gotta get some pizza. I did this to myself. The triangle's boundaries roughly form a triangle shape, with points in the towns of Abington, Rehoboth,
Mm-hmm.
and Freetown. Those are the points of the triangle. Within this region, there have been reports of various supernatural occurrences, including sightings of cryptids like Bigfoot and Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds?
And we're going to discuss some Thunderbird stuff because this is the first time I'm hearing of Thunderbirds when we were researching this topic. Encounters with UFOs, ghostly apparitions, mysterious lights, and unexplained disappearances. The Bridgewater Triangle has become a subject of interest for paranormal enthusiasts and researchers due to the high concentration of reported phenomena within its borders. Now, full stop. You had something to say.
Yeah, supposedly it has more cases than the actual Bermuda Triangle.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah.
Triangle areas having weird
Mm-hmm.
occurrences within them.
In that show, Skinwalker Ranch, there's that one section it's very highly populated with activity, and it is a triangle.
Yep.
In that specific section there,
Yep.
where they find all the weird radio transmissions and.
I think there's something significant about that triangle shape. Maybe it's some sort of spiritual law or occult law or something that we're unaware of. For these things to be granted the ability to act within this certain boundary or something like that.
And symbols are heavily.
Yep. But I also think that I'm curious to know when we do I think we have this scheduled. If not, it was added on to we're going to fit it in somewhere, episode plans that we have. The 33rd parallel I brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious as to know where these triangle areas, if they all fall on, if one of the points do, or if
You think they're
I
pointing
think
to each other and then like an
maybe
angle?
right?
What if they go around
Because the Bermuda
Earth?
Triangle, I believe, is on the 33rd parallel,
What if they go around the entire Earth and they form a perfect line
and it's just an arrow
connected
pointing to
to
something,
that triangle?
like a path pointing to all of them, connecting all the
like
triangles.
this end of it's going all the way around to this end. This end's going to the other end. That'd be interesting to.
That's something I'm definitely going to be looking into when we talk about that. I mean, maybe I'll do it on the. Maybe we could do it on the episode talking about Bermuda Triangle, or we'll figure it out. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to bring up the relation of these triangles because I think there's some significance to it because they're not just happening, and also triangles are architecturally one of the strongest shapes to build with. Like you build a bridge, if you build a square, it's not really, it's not really structurally sound. But then you put a cross brace across it to make two triangles. Now it's supported more, or two, put an X in the middle of it. Now you got four triangles.
Indigo Moon Paranormal says, it's totally real. Our team has investigated a couple of homes on the outskirts of Bridgewater Triangle. The vibe is weird.
Oh, that's awesome. You've investigated some Bridgewater Triangle stuff. That's awesome.
Cool.
Do you have any, like, what is some of your team's, one or two of your most, like, mind-blowing encounters out there.
For both of you guys,
Yeah.
Mid-South Paranormal too, if you guys are still watching.
If you did, I mean, while we're in the topic of Bridgewater, if you guys, Mid-South Paranormal Project, if you guys have been out to the Bridgewater Triangle, what's like one of your most like mind-blowing experiences?
Or just any forest related too.
Yeah, that too. Yep, any forest-related investigations. We got Thunderbirds that we're going to be talking about because this is the first time I've heard of Thunderbirds. Real quick, Miss Eternal Ember says, wow, and Marbles44 says, that's awesome.
The only time I ever heard of Thunderbirds was from American Dad.
What? Yeah.
When Klaus was like, it's the fabulous Thunderbird, bitches.
Oh, and he got the tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they don't take them.
Did they go without him?
They go without him. He ends up falling asleep, and they're like, oh, we didn't want to wake you.
Yeah. Yeah. They really be treating Klaus bad, man. But, you know, he's a weird character.
Yeah.
He really is. All right, so these Thunderbirds, they're pretty fabulous. Couldn't help it.
I'm shutting the stream off.
Oh, no. Don't do this to me.
All right, go on.
All right, so Thunderbirds, they have a rich history rooted in Native American folklore. They're portrayed as colossal avian beings that sought refuge within the forest. And colossal is not to be understated. Like, colossal. I think 14-foot wingspan.
Yeah.
And the largest wingspan that I could find in our research was 11.5-foot average wingspan of the albatross. And those are native to the southern hemisphere, not even anywhere really in America. And the places in America that do have a northern variant of the albatross is Alaska, Hawaii, the places that aren't really in the continental United States. So these colossal avian beings are not to be understated. They're huge. So traditionally, the sighting of a thunderbird forewarned the imminent arrival of a harsh storm. Despite the passage of time, accounts of the thunderbird sightings persist into modern day, spanning over the last century. One particularly notable story recounts an alleged black and white photograph capturing a thunderbird, wherein a group of men reportedly subdued and displayed the creature by affixing it to a barn. They killed the creature and then nailed it to a barn. Regrettably, efforts to trace the original photograph have proven elusive, also for us, with only tangential discoveries such as images reminiscent of pterodactyls surfacing. We did find a picture. We're going to get to the chat. We did find a picture we wanted to bring up of what the description of this original picture is supposed to be like. But real quick, I'm going to read the chat. Indigo Moon Paranormal. One home had a ton of electrical issues. Nothing electrician could find a problem with. Team member who was empathetic became physically ill. Oh, I hope they're all right.
Yeah.
What have you encountered electrical issues in your? I mean, other than okay, so when you go on your hunts and your investigations, your equipment,
the equipment
malfunctions.
like that. I mean, other than that thing
Oh,
that
the
happened
light last week.
Yeah. Other than that happening.
Yeah. So I think that's paranormal related. Like, well, paranormal is such a broad term. Ghost related.
Yeah.
Marbles says Quaquitl totem pole is styled to depict a thunderbird. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can look that up. Second location, Indigo Moon Paranormal says the second location, same team member was inexplicably drawn to enter the forest from the home. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. You guys are brave out there. Oh, okay. The top is said to... I love when our chat gives us some awesome knowledge here.
Let me get this up. So this is what we got.
But the top. He said the top. Well, no, he didn't say the top. He just said the totem pole style to depict a thunderbird. But it is on the top of all of these. It's like they're on top of a person. The top has the wings. Top.
That is interesting.
That's the first one that's not on the top.
Yeah.
Nope, it's up there. That one right there.
Which one?
The one with the blue clouds right next to it. Yeah, its wings are just folded in.
Yeah.
It's got a beak. Yeah. So, yeah, this Thunderbird, it was interesting to look into because I haven't heard of it before today. But we did find this picture, and And I mean, this isn't the picture that we're talking about that we discovered. As we learned that this picture is pretty much impossible to find. This is just what a recreation of what they thought the picture would be like. And I thought this was funny because it's a freaking pterodactyl.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be calling that a thunderbird. I mean, the term dinosaur was coined, I think, in the late 1800s, maybe. It's pretty recently in the grand scheme of things. So, like, that dinosaur, that pterodactyl, pteranodon, whatever that is, it could have been called a thunderbird back then if it was that. But I don't think it's this. It's basically reported to be like some sort of giant, like, hawk.
I think we have another picture of that somewhere in there, but on Indigo Moon Paranormal, second location, same team member was inexplicably drawn to enter the forest from the home.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy.
Interesting.
It's like you're feeling it. It's like a siren.
Yeah.
A siren call, and they hypnotize you and lull you in, and then they eat you.
Is that what they do?
I don't know. I think they killed you. I think they killed men. It's a Greek thing, Greek mythology. No, I remember what they do. The sirens were beautiful mermaid women type looking things that sang beautiful music that captivated the captains of the ship, and they would end up leading them to their death because they would lead them into like a giant rock wall or some like
And capture their soul.
And I don't know what happens to their soul, but like it would just lead the captain to crash the ship, and everybody on board dies because they die. They all drown and shit. So
Then they take the supplies and go back to Mermaid Island.
Yep.
Atlantis.
They're pirate mermaids.
Pirate mermaids.
They go. Nope, that's different. That's a different joke. I was gonna say cat pirates. They go mearg. Mearg.
The absence has given a rise to a mystique surrounding the lost Thunderbird photo.
Yeah, because the photo's gone. We can't find it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Nobody can.
A relic now, nothing more than a legend. Tragically, is reported that the photograph, along with its custodian, met an untimely demise in a house fire, further shrouding the only photo to have ever existed into obscurity.
So, I mean, if they truly captured a picture of this Thunderbird, and the picture's gone, but the Thunderbird has been still reported to be seen in the last 100 years, with I think the most recent one being 1950, 1960, somewhere around there. That means that it's not just a Thunderbird. It's not the Thunderbird. It's a species of things. There's multiple of it. Like, I don't think it's like the Jersey Devil.
Thunderbird eye?
Thunderbird, plural?
Birdie?
They're birdie, birds. Thunderbird with 4 Z's. Like marbles. I think that if they did kill one and captured it, it's not the Thunderbird. It is a Thunderbird. And photo's gone, unfortunately. But they have still been reported to have been seen. So I thought the pterodactyl was funny. All right, we got some chats. Marbles44 says, depending on where you look, different tribes described it differently, but had overall the same image. Yeah. Giant bird. Giant avian creature. Mid-South Paranormal Project. As far as haunted experiences in forests are concerned, we had an instance in Columbia, Maryland, where a full-body apparition was seen by myself and a former team member. Unfortunately, we did not have recording equipment on hand since we were just passing through. One of our biggest regrets. That's always how it happens, isn't it?
I mean, it's happened to me multiple times, and everyone could say, oh, that's such, oh, what a coincidence, but It happens. I think they're a lot smarter than people realize. Maybe the ghosts are just some sort of living thing, not in a sense of our world, but
maybe they're entities in themselves that aren't just disembodied spirits.
Yes.
Yeah. Like kind of like a Bigfoot, but it's a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's a common thing, and we're Nick and I here. We're not gonna say, oh, you didn't capture it, so you're full of it. No,
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna say that. We know how this goes. We know how difficult it is to try to capture something. We are gonna, unfortunately, share in your kind of No, fortunately and unfortunately, sharing your laughter about it, laugh it off, haha, that's kind of funny, that sucks that you didn't capture it, but also your sadness about, man, I can imagine you really wanted to capture that. Like, dang, we really, really missed that. I get it.
And who are we or anyone to say that you didn't see something that you saw with your own eyes?
Absolutely. That's a cool experience, a full body apparition.
Yeah.
That's definitely really cool. What do we got here now?
We have a little video about the Bridgewater Triangle we're going to pull up real quick.
Okay, cool.
See which one it looks better on. I think it looks better on this one. Okay. This is CBSNews.com, by the way.
Large plot of land south of Boston that many people believe is haunted.
Yeah, if you're from that area, you've probably heard of it, the Bridgewater Triangle. I ventured inside to check it out.
It happens here, Bridgewater, home to the largest state university in Massachusetts. But people don't just come to this 350-year-old town for a higher education.
They go there to party.
Here to experience something supernatural. Behold the Bridgewater Triangle.
That's the pizza slice
on the
there.
map. Yep, that's the pizza slice. On the map, you see the red lines connecting the cities. That's where it is. And look at that. I'm going to look this up, man. I'm going to find out if this is on the 33rd parallel. We're going to find out.
I'm going to find out.
Tons of things on the 33rd parallel. Spooky.
Spurgeon.
Nothing. Spooky. Set. Let's go.
A 200-square-mile so-called paranormal vortex with 3 points in Abington, Rehoboth, and Freetown. And inside, the residents of Taunton, Raynham, Berkeley, Dighton, Brockton, Easton, and Bridgewater. So why is it called the Triangle? Cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman came up with the nickname back in 1983.
The Bridgewater Triangle, I think, per square foot, we've got more weirdness here than the Bermuda Triangle could hold a candle to.
That's author and podcaster Jeff Belanger. He met us inside the triangle at the historic and haunted Hockomock Swamp. Its waters became a battlefield during King Philip's War.
75 to 80% of the natives were wiped out, 25% of the colonists. That leaves a stain that I don't think can ever be washed away. I spoke to someone who was right here at this bridge and said he saw these glowing balls of colored lights moving down the water, and then they just disappeared.
For decades, people have reported paranormal experiences.
See a lot, and there we go again with these lights around the water.
It's just the lights, man. Like glowing balls of lights that just disappear. Ah, there's portals.
In the triangle. Even TikTok is full of creepy videos.
There have been asylums in here, prisons in here. There have been cult murders. There have been all kinds of human activity, UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, strange serpents, puckwudgies.
Puckwudgies. You know what puckwudgies are?
I do not know. That's something I do not.
Puckwudgies are these tiny little leprechaun-y, like they're like little people.
Oh, really?
Not like the polite term for the disability little people. Like they're like little troll, like Smurfs, like that, but like bigger than a Smurf. Because Smurfs are like this tiny, but they're like this big, tiny little things, little elves or something. They're cool.
I've heard of that. I've heard of fairies, but I haven't heard of
puckwudgies. They're funny. It's a funny name.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about these until one of my friends in New Jersey told me about them. And I was like, there's no way that's real. And he's like, no, I'm telling you, man, puckwudgies, man, they're so crazy. They're cool. I've seen them. I'm like, no, what are you even saying? You're making up a word, dude. There's no such thing as, he's like, look it up. Look, watch. And he was on his TV on like YouTube and he looked up puckwudgie and I was like, oh, shoot. Dang, dude. They're cool.
With glowing balls of light, hauntings.
Even I got spooked when I came across some perfectly picked clean bones. I think that's the ribcage of an animal.
Well, that's what a predator would do to their prey.
I hope it's not the ribcage of a human. I think that.
So we left the haunted woods and headed to Central Square to see what.
Wait, real quick. I have done tons of trail exploration in my youth.
Mm-hmm.
with no goal of paranormal or supernatural investigation there. Just exploring trails as a kid, right? And I have come across carcasses of forest creatures, like deer and a fox and like a cow skull for some reason in the middle of the trails. But I've seen and they're picked clean. That's not weird to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of normal. So like, why are you? This lady's like, I'm so scared. I saw a bone rib cage with no meat on it.
I mean, you could tell she's being condescending in this, especially towards the end. I'm not even gonna play because she's just downplaying the whole thing. She's just there to get clicks on this. But that guy I found
they got a click from us.
Yeah. Mid-South Paranormal says, oh, absolutely. Marbles 44 says, triangle equals paranormal, I swear.
There's got to be something to it. Like I said, they really does.
Let's finish.
It's the Pythagorean theorem.
Wait.
Wait. I figured it out. What are the names of these towns? Wait, no, right. You scroll down just a little bit. I know we're going to have to fix it for the video. Abington squared plus Rehoboth squared equals Freetown squared. Boom. No, those are the points. Those are for sides. Never mind. I messed it up. Pythagorean doesn't apply here. Thanks for humoring my stupidity.
I got you. All right, here we go. Let's just play a little bit more of this. I like that car. Okay. All right, go on.
Is that a Camaro or Mustang?
They've
It's a Camaro.
taken
I think that was a Camaro.
pictures and orbs have come out in the pictures.
We got the nip, so Bigfoot might not be out of the
The
question.
nip?
They found his body stretched out on the bank, but he was dead. He's dead. He died.
Can we watch that again?
But he was dead. He's dead.
He's dead. He's dead. He's died.
But he was dead. He's dead. He died.
Oh wow! What else do you do with a dead body? You see a dead body? He's dead. He died.
I had not heard that.
I saw a pudge Wookiee. I tried to pet it and make friends with it.
Rue, what do you think about
I'm telling you, man, these Pudge Wookiees.
All right, that's basically it. It just goes on. Ask the dog what the dog's opinion on it.
Yeah. Is that lady sure he's dead? Cat E says, is that lady sure he's dead? He's dead. He's dead.
He's dead. He's dead. He's laying there. He's dead. He died.
Wait a second. He got up. Oh, he's alive. Oh, man. All right. So we got some ghostly apparitions at Hockomock Swamp. Hockomock. I have heard Hockomock Swamp come up a lot within the Bridgewater Triangle discussion. We got some. This is where we get some strange cryptid activity. So the Hockomock Swamp, located within the Bridgewater Triangle, is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of Native American tribes and colonial settlers. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly apparitions wandering the swampy terrain, often accompanied by strange lights or disembodied voices. Some claim to have felt a chill in the air or a sense of being watched by unseen entities while exploring the area. On April 8th, 1970, 2 officers were stationed in their police cruiser near the swamp's murky edge. Abruptly, the rear end of their vehicle was lifted and crashed back down with a loud thud. They quickly reacted, turning their car around, pointing their spotlight into the darkness, only to reveal a hairy figure reminiscent of a bear, darting on 2 legs, which bears can do, behind a nearby residence. Despite a thorough search of the area, neither the bear-like creature nor any other strange being were discovered. I have not heard reports of a bear lifting someone's car. I mean, I'm sure it's possible.
Could be possible.
The bears are pretty strong. I mean, they can
like
push a car over.
Yeah.
They could use their backs. But maybe a bear was scratching his back on the tailgate of their cop car or the police cruiser, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a real good spot." And then the car actually lifted and slammed down, and the bear was like, "Oh man, what the heck was that?" And then he runs off. That's just 2 legs. That's just me trying to explain something weird. But I think it's probably something more paranormal than just a bear. It seemed to lift it with intent. And when the car turned around, they saw it running away, so they couldn't really make out. They said bear-like. I'm sure if it was definitely a bear, they'd been able to tell it's a bear.
Could have been a man bear pig.
Man bear pig. It's gonna come and get you.
What about the separate encounter? A seasoned hunter found himself face to face with a mysterious creature in the forest. Startled, he discharged his weapon, prompting the creature to emit a spine-chilling cry that seemed to echo both human and animal tones.
That gives me chills. That part, the human, like it's like both at the same time.
Yeah,
it's like imagine they've reproduced that type of sound in like movies where they mix a person's screech with like screaming, blood curdling scream with an animal screaming. Like, have you ever heard the Aztec death whistle?
Yeah,
that thing sounds like someone being murdered. It's literally just a whistle. Anyway.
Yeah, later investigation revealed traces of brown hair and blood lining the leaves along the creature's hurried escape path.
Marbles 44 says it's a skinwalker. Absolutely. And I know that people say there's myself personally, I don't attribute it to personally one or the other, but lots of skinwalker encounters can also be mistaken for werewolf encounters and vice versa, because they're very similar in lots of the reportings where somebody's like, this was a skinwalker. It's like, that sounds kind of like a werewolf. Somebody was like, this was a werewolf. I was like, that could be a skinwalker. So vice versa. I'm open-minded enough to consider both of them. That one sounds a little bit more, this one right here actually is the one that sounds like a werewolf. So there's another encounter where a resident of West Bridgewater, she was awoken one night by a disturbance in her yard. Peering through her window, she saw a quite large bipedal beast devouring a pumpkin from her garden. She locked eyes with the creature and was frightened by its intense reddish-orange eyes. They maintained eye contact. She says it stared her down as it was eating her pumpkin. And before it ran off, what is it? Eating her pumpkin?
Sorry.
Really? You're laughing at eating her pumpkin? Okay. So it stared her down and locked eyes with her. She was frightened by its intense reddish-orange eyes. Then it emitted a guttural grunt and vanished into the surrounding woods, pumpkin in tow.
He's not leaving that behind.
He ate her pumpkin.
You're gonna get us canceled.
I'm not gonna get. You're the one laughing at it. It's just a pumpkin.
Exactly. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
All right. Well,
this is a serious topic. But that one I think could be a werewolf. I mean, I don't know why a werewolf would be eating a pumpkin. I don't know why a werewolf would do anything a werewolf does. But that one just sounds more like a werewolf because the orangey reddish eyes, or orangey yellow. What was it again? Orangey reddish, right? Reddish orange. Yeah, reddish orange eyes. That is commonly reported for the werewolf eyes. I never hear any werewolves with blue eyes, green eyes. It's like yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Yellow and a reddish orange. And I think that denotes its intention. It was just the way you said it because I laughed too, says Cat E. Oh, man. Talking about eating her pumpkin, making everybody laugh. All right. Okay, wait. I gotta take a sip of water. Give me a second.
I'll start this part then. UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena. The Bridgewater Triangle has also gained notoriety for its high number of UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena. Witnesses have reported seeing strange lights in the sky, triangular-shaped crafts hovering overhead.
Triangles. That's a square. This is a triangle. Poop. I'm not trying to do that. No, I shouldn't have done that. This is a triangle. I'm not looking through it. Yeah, this is a triangle.
Yeah, don't look through it.
I'm not trying to do no Illuminati shit. And this is a circle.
Is it?
This is a circle.
Oh, okay.
All right. This is a triangle. Okay, you see that? And this is a square. Now these lights, these UFOs,
triangle,
are always in a triangle.
Triangle.
I never see anything in a square or circle, man.
There exists.
You seen it?
Hmm?
No.
What do you mean how?
No, I mean like I've
seen that. You've
seen lights in a square formation?
In a square?
Yeah, in a square formation. Or you're saying you've seen a square craft?
I've seen a circular craft and I've seen a triangle craft.
Oh, okay. I think we're having a little bit of a misunderstanding with one another here. When I see reports of strange lights in the sky, triangular shaped craft hovering overhead, I kind of jump to lots of reports I've heard of multiple crafts in a triangle formation.
Oh yes, and that's the one I filmed.
Right.
In the
I don't
the one in the
see
triangle.
reports of multiple crafts in a circle.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
In a circle, and I have to do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see lights around in a circle unless it's a singular craft with lights around that circle. I've heard of and seen that. I haven't seen any square crafts, no square crafts, no square formations. I've heard of I have heard of it like a cube craft.
Yeah.
Well, actually, more like a rectangle. They said it was like a flying refrigerator. I'm sorry to laugh at it, but I'm not. Then maybe that's probably what they really saw.
I also have like cylinder shaped crafts.
I've heard of that too.
Like the cigar shaped kind of.
Yep. But I've never heard of the formations of multiple craft being in anything other than triangle. And I was just trying to relate that to when we were talking about the Bridgewater Triangle and the Bermuda Triangle. There's got to be something in these triangles, man. Like Marbles says, triangle equals paranormal. There's got to be something to it. Maybe that's how they do portal stuff. Maybe there's triangle stuff related.
Some speculate that the area may be a hotspot for extraterrestrial activity, while others believe the sightings could be linked to government experiments or natural phenomenon. It is close to. There's.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
There's military bases all over, but I also think that. Too.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think that just because it's extraterrestrial or interdimensional that it's not also related to government experiments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has to be both, but I think that just because it's one doesn't mean it's not the other also.
Yeah.
I think that everything comes together at some point.
I do have a little video here.
Oh, is there more stuff to laugh at? Because we've been watching some funny stuff today.
They got me.
Caitlin Noel says, circular aircrafts move in a triangular motion, I think. It all connects somehow, some way.
And that's the one I filmed, too.
Okay.
There were circular crafts.
So even if it's a circular craft, it's moving in a triangle.
Yeah.
There's something about these triangles.
Okay. All right, I'm switching over now.
All right.
I'm going to get this perfectly centered. Okay. Here we go.
Time viewers of Channel 5 know the name Steve Sprasia. Steve was a reporter for News Center 5 for 16 years until he moved to North Carolina in 2005.
And before that, Steve was a local radio reporter. That's when he became part of the story of the Bridgewater Triangle.
The spring of 1979 proved to be the most active period of documented UFO sightings in the history of the Bridgewater Triangle region. A number of news outlets and law enforcement agencies were flooded with reports of large, low-flying UFOs. During that time, former WHDH reporters Jerry Lopes and Steve Sprasia claimed to have witnessed what is arguably the most famous UFO sighting to occur within the Bridgewater Triangle.
Jerry Lopes and I worked at WHDH Radio, and we were heading down to the Raynham Dog Track, and when we got off 24 onto 106, I noticed this really bright light over the tree line. And the light was coming closer and closer and getting bigger and bigger. And I remember saying to Jerry, what is that over there? So we pulled his vehicle over, and all of a sudden the stars blotted out in the shape of an arrow as this thing passed overhead.
Ironically, I'm a big baseball fan, it looked like a baseball home plate, and there were a series of lights on it.
And it was very, very wide. Perhaps the width of now, we'd say 5 747s wing to wing.
It looked like it had a little cord or something hanging off it, and sparks were
umbilical
coming
cord
off of it. I almost felt like I could throw a rock at the thing. It seemed that
Whoa.
close to me.
That's crazy.
Pretty much the shape of it.
So that's pretty much the shape of it.
That close that he felt like he could throw a rock at it though.
Yeah.
Like
I have seen something like that back, like that close, and it kind of reminds me of that.
Really?
And it had this was back in like 2008 or so. I noticed something outside because we had these big bay windows.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed something outside. I was home alone. This always happens when I'm home alone.
Of course.
And I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I was getting something to drink. This was later at night. And I see this blinking light out there. I'm like, oh, a cool plane. I look out the window. I'm like, that's not a plane. This thing was moving so slow. And the back of my house goes to the woods. It moved so slow. I actually went outside. I was so mesmerized by this. I didn't even think to grab my phone
You're
or
like
anything.
frozen in awe.
I literally just I was mesmerized. I literally walked outside. It was like pitch black out, and just to look up at it, and it was that close. It was that massive, and I can see these weird. It was in a triangle shape. It kind of looked exactly like that. Had these blue lights blinking off of it. It wasn't like an airplane light. It was like these weird blue lights just.
But it was low.
It was low, and it was silent.
I was just about to ask, did it make any noise?
Not a sound. And it just disappeared over the tree line, but it was like low. I would say like compared to the trees, it was like 100 or 150 feet in the air.
Like over the trees or from the ground?
Yeah, from the ground.
Wow.
Like this thing was huge. I didn't see anyone else outside looking at this because it was so low. It was nothing. And I stood at it until it went over the trees, and then I left the door open, like to the outside. I literally went back inside, and I was like, why didn't I grab my phone? Or I didn't have a phone at the time. I was like, I had like a little.
Oh, this is 2008. You said, right?
I had like one of those old flip. What were those shitty cameras?
The Jukes or whatever.
No, it was like a little tiny camera. It was like the flip camera. I don't know what it was. I had one of those ready, and I just didn't do it.
Oh, it was like a dedicated camera?
Yeah, it was like a little tiny camera they used to have back then. But I was just so mesmerized by it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just saw it and like just went outside and looked at it until it disappeared. That was one of the craziest things.
I've never, man, my father has told me one or two, definitely one, maybe two, of his personal UFO sightings. I'm gonna have to ask him about them again to be able to tell them to all you guys in detail. But I feel like I have seen something, but it's repressed, and I don't remember it, and I might have like I said, repressed it for some reason.
I have another instance like that I don't want to really unlock.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, because you don't want to know what the truth is behind it. Because what if it is actually something truly terrifying that you had hid for a reason?
Yeah.
I have had an instance where I'll save this for the lucid dreaming episode we're going to do, because this is part of the reason why I started lucid dreaming. It was like a nightmare that felt too real, but it wasn't real. But was it? That's
I don't know.
That's the part that freaks me out, because it had to do with aliens and abduction. But yeah, I've seen things where I'm like, is that? No, wait, is it? That's a plane. Because I want to believe that it was. I wanted to believe that it's a UFO sighting or something like that. But I'm also like so trying to prove it wrong, because if it's real, it would shatter my world understanding, worldview in the moment. This was years ago. Now, if I saw something like that, I'd be like, oh yeah. Oh, actually, one day, I think I was coming home. This is recent. I was coming home, I think, from doing the show with you. And like right as I was pulling off the main boulevard near my house to get down to make the turn onto my road, something like flew. It was silent, and it flew like overhead at me. Like it was coming towards me. I'm going this way. So I'm going this way. It's coming this way. And it was low, and it flew over me, I should say. And as we passed each other, like it didn't cast a shadow or anything either, but it was low, and it was nighttime. It was like 10 o'clock or something at night, and it flies overhead, and I look in my rear view to see if I can still see it, and it's just like gone.
Really?
Yeah. And I get home, and I'm like, oh my God. I tell my wife, I'm like, oh my God, I saw a UFO. She's like, yeah, no, I figured, yeah, you probably did. I don't doubt it. I'm like, no, but like, I really saw this. And she's like, yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm like, instantly killed my excitement. So that's why I didn't remember it. But I did do that one. I did see that one. That was recent. That was in the last, that's got to be since January, February. It was a couple weeks ago. But that happened in a town where there's an Air Force base.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I really don't know. It was silent though. All right, let's get back to the video.
Back.
and this thing passed overhead like this. For me, what first attracted me was this light that kind of came into our field of vision, just like that. And as this thing passed overhead, it just kept coming and coming and coming. And the light kept getting bigger and bigger.
I'm an Air Force veteran. I've been in the Air Force for 4.5 years. I've been around a number of different planes, and I said to Steve, that's not one of ours. And it just hovered there for a minute. It looked like it was over a little bit of a field, and the next thing you know, it just kind of just took off.
We continued on to the dog track, and most of the conversation that evening was, what did we see? Up to that point, I had been 100% skeptic. I thought anybody who ever saw these things, they were either crazy or publicity hounds, or there was just something wrong with them in their head altogether.
Right.
What I didn't realize at the time was that a lot more people had seen it than just Jerry and I.
Interestingly, over the course of the next week, there were a series of spottings, different sightings. It was reported in the papers, reported on the radio station, and at that point, Steve and I decided to come forward and say, hey, we actually saw something.
A couple of days later, an article appears in the Brockton Enterprise. And not only does it have interviews with Jerry and I, but quite a number of other folks in and around the Randolph area who had seen it. But they've got the staff artists take all of our recollections and put together a drawing, an artist rendition, which looked pretty much like this.
So great to see Steve again.
Yep, that about wraps up what they saw over there. That was a very uniquely shaped craft. I've never seen any reports of something shaped like that.
Yeah.
A baseball home plate.
I mean, that's about how big the thing was.
But the one you saw, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't make out the shape of anything I saw, really. It just kind of looked like this. It looked kind of round, but flat. It's like a dark gray gunmetal-y color. It didn't really have lights on it. It was reflective. It was weird. It's like the ambient light of the road I was going down is what made me be able to see it. And it didn't like come at me, but it was low over me and zipped by and then phew, gone. Like look at my rear view and I see it and then it's gone. Like in front of my eyes. Like it just zoom gone. No sound. No nothing. I probably wouldn't be able to hear it anyway because I had my heat blasting. With my windows closed and it was like my heat goes like super loud. So maybe if it unless it was like a super loud sound, probably wouldn't be able to hear it.
Has anyone else seen any of that in the chat? Seen any weird things up in the sky or wherever you are in your investigations and you just come across this? Because normally a lot of times when we're looking for stuff, we don't really find it. It's when stuff is looking for us.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the UFO I caught out here, which was I put it on YouTube and TikTok and it did well. A lot of people said it was Starlink, but
yeah, there's
a big difference between what Starlink looks like and then what I captured. And I'm the last person that's going to be like, oh no, that's not it. This is 100% it. I was like, I ruled out everything that I think it could be because in the same video, you can see what an airplane looks like. And if you look at an actual Starlink thing, you can see that it doesn't look anything like that. And what I captured, these things form into a triangle.
Mm-hmm. The Starlink is in a grid.
Yeah.
It's not in a triangle.
And they travel in a linear path.
Yeah.
These were separate entities. And then actually appeared out of nowhere.
Right.
One of them did.
That's why I think people thought it was Starlink because maybe Starlink satellite light could turn on and now you could see it. And then it'll turn off and then, oh my goodness, that's an alien. Or that's a UFO. Well, when there's three of them together, I've never seen... I looked up the Starlight satellite grid to see this because... Starlink satellite grid because I wanted to see like how they're set up to understand how it's working and to make sure that we're not going to mistake anything, like mistake them for anything. And there's no way that triangle formation was Starlink.
Yeah,
there's no way. So moving on, we got this last bit right here before we get into our group submissions. We have some cursed objects and supernatural events. Numerous reports of cursed objects and supernatural events have been documented in the Bridgewater Triangle, from mysterious disappearances to inexplicable accidents. The area seems to be plagued by a series of unfortunate incidents that defy rational explanation. Some locals believe that the land itself is cursed, while others attribute the strange occurrences to the presence of powerful supernatural forces at work in the area. So yeah, I mean, take that for what it is. I think that there's definitely activity going on there. There's definitely some significance to the triangle formation of these cities, and not to say that all cities in it that make a triangle formation, because you can find 3 cities on a map and make a triangle between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not that. There's the position of these cities make that. What did I say? Isosceles, I think, was when you had 2 sides the same length.
Yeah, I think so.
And then one side is different. That's specific. That's not just a random. Every side of the triangle is a different length thing.
Caitlin all says it was like sunset, still light out.
Oh, when you saw the Starlinks, yeah. I remember watching the video.
Yes. Yes to what? Do you have an experience, or is it yes to the land itself being cursed, or you can go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so these stories are all drawn from personal experiences, anecdotes, and local legends. They reveal the mysterious and captivating nature of these haunted forests in America. Regardless of one's beliefs in the supernatural or the paranormal, the mysteries hidden within these ancient forests absolutely have intrigued and fascinated all who venture into their depths, including Nick and myself. Hopefully all of you were also just as intrigued and engaged with our conversations today.
Isosceles triangle she was talking about.
Yes, isosceles triangle. All right, so before we conclude today's show, brace yourselves as we delve into the mysterious realm of the paranormal, exploring 3 community submissions from our Facebook group that are sure to send shivers down your spine. We got the first one here. Make sure that we're all lined up. All right, we're all set.
This is, if you want to join the group, Paranormal Haunted Creepy Places and Ghost Stories Welcome Home. We just hit 124,000 members in there.
Yes, and we encourage everybody to come share their experiences with us in here. And we do have an anonymous option. If you join, you can still share a story anonymously if you don't want to have your name associated with it. But, in fear of somebody thinking you're crazy or something, you can still share your experience. We want everybody to share all their paranormal experiences, any portal experiences, astral projection, ghosts, alien encounters, UFO sightings, all of it. Everything under this umbrella of paranormal, supernatural, haunted stuff. This is your home. So Laura Bagley says that, I'm just going to read it as if what she wrote. I had a couple experiences when I was in high school. I lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia, 9 miles from the North Carolina line. The area was called Pungo, and my family was friends with another family through scouts. This family lived in an old home that was built with some wood and stone from a shipwreck. Oh, that's interesting. There was a woman that lived... Wait, why would you use wood and stone from a shipwreck to build a house?
People use driftwood. Who knows where
That's
the driftwood's from?
That's true. Okay, so there was a woman that lived not far from my friend's house, and her name was Grace Sherwood. Ooh, she just got doxxed. And she was tried as a witch back during the time of Salem witch trials. Oh, she's not doxxed anymore. She's not here. Turns out her cousin lived on my friend's home many, many years ago. Maybe he was a witch also, but this house also had strange things happening, so it is supposedly haunted. She has a part 2 in the comments to continue. So this house was/is haunted, and there are many witnesses. I was on a tour one time just for fun, nothing formal, and a group of us were talking about how the whole upstairs was
I think a circle is what they...
Circle, or was it an icicle? A circle. Every room led to the next, and just then the lock on the door slid back and forth twice. That's creepy. Also, someone took a picture not realizing she was facing a mirror. Later, she looked at the picture, and there was an older man in the mirror standing among all of us. Other things were objects floating around the rooms as if being carried. The exercise bike would pedal on its own. That's weird. A picture in the dining room was always falling down, only to do it again every time it was put back up until the family stopped putting it up. A pair of sconces by the front door would fly across the room, and if you sat on the couch, a lot of times you could see a woman at the stove and a man next to her. Wow. More later. Okay, we'll try to finish up. The shed door continuously banged day and night. A weird thing was the fact on the very top outside of the chimney was a large letter T. Large letter T. Anyway, 3 families owned the house, and all 3 had a last name that started with T. Coincidence? I personally don't think so. Well, to get to my biggest... Wait, what? Biggest thieving that happened... I'm pretty sure she just meant biggest thing that happened to me was during Girl Scout Halloween party, and everyone was sitting around a huge bonfire listening to the leader tell silly stories. Girls were too young for scary ones. Yes. And I was facing the woods with my back to the side yard where they had a stack of old rowboats, maybe 6 feet high. For some reason, I turned around, putting my back to the bonfire, and there it was. A man taller than the stack of boats standing there, leaning over them with arms crossed and one foot crossed over the other. I could see the boats through him, so I have always thought he was a ghost just observing. Were these people that had lived there the cousin of the witch of Pungo, or people from the ship that wrecked and the wood of the ship that wrecked and the wood and things that came from it? All I know after seeing that man, I never went back. That
Believe that's it.
is crazy. As a young Girl Scout, you saw this giant man ghost thing, and yeah, sure, you never went back, but whoa. That would have freaked me out, man. Wow, that is an awesome story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that
Thank
one with
you.
us. Thank you very much. That is a lot of poltergeist activity, a lot of weird encounters, and then that, to top it all off, that weird tall man. All right, so we got another one here from Jim Brunette. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim, and I'm a skeptic. Now, before you freak out and think, what the hell are you doing in this group? I so much want to believe. I do believe I'm the only skeptic here. I doubt you're the only skeptic here, Jim. Now, I can't speak for the others, but I'm not here just to call out everything as fake. As a matter of fact, I don't like the term fake. That suggests that someone is intentionally trying to deceive the group. In some cases, that might be true, but I don't believe that's the norm. I prefer unexplained. Bring a skeptic. I'm looking for a logical solution before a supernatural one. I try to voice my opinion with respect. Now, real quick, before I continue, that is what we do, too.
Mm-hmm.
We try to look for a logical solution before a supernatural one, but in many of our experiences, there is no logical explanation to the personal experiences that I've had, and I know that Nick has had, that can be explained with logic, science, or anything like that. I think that it's good to approach things from that way, but once you're faced with no other option, you have to accept that there is something supernatural or paranormal going on there. Okay, let me continue. I try to voice my opinion with respect, and I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to upset anybody here either. As you just said, I'm not here to piss anyone off. I'm here seeking the truth. So are we. Majority of us here are doing that. The funny thing is, I've seen things. For instance, a 6.5 foot tall grayish black apparition crossed in front of me, then disappeared. A couple of seconds later, it reappeared as a 3 foot tall grayish black ball. It once again crossed in front of me and returned to its original starting point, then disappeared. That is crazy. That's mind blowing. Like, you saw the apparition and you're still I mean, kudos to still being doubtful, though. Like, trying to figure out an explanation. But if you come to a point where you can't explain something, try to be willing to accept that it is spiritual, paranormal, or supernatural. So while at work, I was tasked with rebooting the computer after a crash. While doing the employee's time and attendance monitor, the entrance to the women's locker room is about 6 feet to my right. I turn the computer off, wait a couple seconds, and turn it on. There's a sudden crash of a locker door slamming shut. I'm startled. I think, is there someone in the locker room? I take a couple steps to the entrance. The room is dark. I call out, "Hello? Is someone there?" No answer. I announce myself. "Hey, it's Jim. I'm coming in." I turn on the lights and walk into... I lost it. Hold on. Find no one there. I'm baffled. Either someone got into a locker and slammed the door shut themselves, or there's someone trying to get my attention. I said, if there's someone in a locker, come out now. Nothing. If there's someone here trying to get my attention, you got it. How can I help you? Again, no response. I stood there for a couple minutes, then went back to the employee's time clock. It's ready to bring up the time and attendance screen. I grab the mouse and the light above my head turns off. That's weird. Weird timing there, buddy. I look up, then the next light goes off. There are 4 lights illuminating the room to a hallway, then the next and the next. Now I'm delightfully amazed. I said, wow, that's a hell of a trick. How the hell did you do that? You see, from where I'm standing, I can see the light switch and there's no one there. Plus, the 4 lights are all on at the same time. Or all on the same switch, pardon me. There's no way to turn them off one at a time. Then blink, they all turn on. I just laughed and said, thank you for that. That was really cool. Got the screen up and on to the next. Another funny thing about that place, me and the supervisor were the last ones to leave. He would finish his paperwork, I would lock up. When finished, I would walk back to his office. Well, all the doors are locked and everything's off. You about ready to get out of here? Yeah, just about. Then static comes over his walkie-talkie. I say, you going to answer that? It always does that. Mine doesn't. He turns, looks at me. I said, maybe you should answer it next time. I laughed, and in a spooky voice, I said, someone trying to communicate with you from the other side. Ooh. His response, shut the hell up and get out of here. Again, I laughed and said, I'll go back out and turn off the walkie-talkies. So I started doing that every night also. There were nights I was there by myself, and I would ask on a walkie-talkie if there was anyone that would like to talk to me. Never got a response. So there's a couple of my experiences. Those are awesome experiences. Very detailed. Thank you for all of your breakdown here for all of this. I really, really enjoyed this post. So there's a couple of my experiences. There are more. Another time perhaps. But were they paranormal? This is where I have a logical roadblock. A wall that prevents me from accepting their things to be real, and it pisses me off. I'm not afraid of it. In fact, I get a euphoric feeling afterwards. It brings me joy that lasts days after. I envy those of you that believe, that know, and accept this as part of their life. I feel bad for the one that may be tormented by unhealthy entities. I hope they can find help. Well, anyway, this is where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to debunk everything. Not all things are paranormal either. That's true. I don't know what it will take to knock down my wall, but I'll keep chipping away at it, and maybe someday that wall will become a vial. Thank you for reading. Really, thank you so very much for sharing that with us.
Yes.
I would suggest continue being a member of our group, reading other stories, reading other experiences, seek other experiences similar to yours too. So maybe through those similar experiences, you can try to find common threads and ways that somebody else's experience might have been confirmed to be paranormal, which then can help you take those walls down, because you seem to want to take those walls down. But like I said, there's going to come a point where you're not going to have any logical explanations that you can come up with, like those lights failing one by one, going down as if they're making a pattern to point you towards something, when they're all on the same switch. Like, I can't explain that logically. Or what are the chances that the circuits in the lighting over there are just messed up temporarily? Maybe a power surge, sure, but then all the lights would go out at the same time. Like, in that circumstance, try to be willing to accept that, okay, I can't explain this. That is the definition of a paranormal encounter, of a paranormal experience, other than normal. You can't explain it. That's what we're trying to do, but we have accepted in this community, and we welcome you, and we hope you continue to share your stories with us and read other people's encounters and stories. But we're just trying to understand this just as much as you are. We've just taken that wall down. All right, so this last post is from, who we got here? Justine D. Adargo. She's a top contributor. Thank you, Justine. Now, this is all in caps, and I really wanted to scream this because it's all in caps, but I'm really not going to do that because I'm not trying to blow anybody's ears out if you're wearing headphones or scare anybody, because it's getting kind of late. So I'm just going to read it normally, but I thought it was funny that I was going to scream this. So Justine says, I recently moved into a new apartment a few months ago, and at night I would first hear a woman whisper in my ear, and I would put the blanket over my face. Then this woman started screaming my name very loud. I would get touched on my lower back. That is very creepy.
Yeah.
I then seen 2 little boys around 2 and 4. It was them just smiling at me. They both had on orange shirts with little pumpkin hats on. That's kind of cute. I told my 2 girls, and they didn't believe me. I told them, I hope you don't see or hear what I experienced. And a few days later, my daughter called me crying, saying she's just seen a small cloud of black smoke coming from down my bedroom into the living room, floating by her. Then my other daughter said she was awake, lying in the bed, and felt someone get in the bed and wrap their arms around her. She couldn't move or speak. They both apologized because at first they didn't believe me until their own experience. This woman keeps me up at night, repeating, saying my name. I saged my house. That only lasted for 3 weeks until the spooky ghost, spooky ghost, spooky ghost came back. I don't know what else to do. Face palm, shrug, face palm. That sounds like you're being haunted by a dark presence, demonic entity.
Yeah.
Sounds like your daughter or daughters suffered from sleep paralysis. They were a victim, I should say, of sleep paralysis. And I also have another friend that had some sort of sleep paralysis experience that apparently it's called the old hag. Some people, when they have a sleep paralysis experience, instead of seeing like a shadow figure, they see the old hag.
I've heard of that too, yeah.
And the old hag tries to kill you while you're in sleep paralysis with like a scythe, like a Grim Reaper, but an old hag. Yeah. That is some terrifying things. The sage didn't work. I would say, just like you're willing to try to, burn some sage, just try prayer. Try getting a pastor or priest out there to come bless the house or do an exorcism on the house or something like that. Or at the very least, just call upon Jesus to come and free you from these negative experiences. And I believe that it will work because that's what I did, and it worked. All right, everybody. So that wraps up our show.
Don't forget to join Paranormal Haunted, Creepy Places, and Ghost Stories Welcome Home and share your story for next week's show. Do not miss out. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. Your support fuels our curiosity, and we're grateful to have you with us as we navigate the unknown.
And a big shout out to each and every one of you for being part of our growing community. All of you in the chat today, we loved all of you guys contributing to the conversations. All of your enthusiasm is what makes this journey so exhilarating.
Miss Eternal Ember, awesome stream. Thank you so much for that. Stay tuned, folks, because next week we're gearing up for another thought-provoking episode that promises to keep you on the edge of your seat.
And the exploration continues. We cannot wait to have you back for more revelations and discussions.
Remember, keep your questions and... Remember, your questions and theories fuel our curiosity and our discussion, so please keep them coming.
And until then, stay curious and keep seeking the truth.
Thank you for being part of the Beyond the Hub family. Once again, this is Beyond the Hub podcast, where the realms of the paranormal and conspiracies collide, and the truth is waiting to be unveiled.
We'll see you next time, everybody. Take care.